Hey, shalom, shalom. All right. Before I get started, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Bahakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at GMS. Peace, honor, and respect to you brothers that's out there laboring, edifying, rightly dividing the word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to you believers out there that are in Bahakwa. And what I want to go into, as you can see the title, from Jeremiah 13 and 23, which I'm going to get that scripture. Can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? All right. No. All right. And this is a response to Trump's speech in Saudi Arabia, the latest speech he just made in Saudi Arabia on the U.S. Saudi investment. And so basically, because I'm subscribed to Redacted, their newsletter, email newsletter. And I seen this morning and I was reading. So what happened was I was reading. Let's go down, and then I'm gonna play part of the speech that's in here. Now I'm gonna read the part that I really maybe I missed it because I watched. Once I read this, I watched the whole speech. I'm like, let me watch the whole speech before I just read this and do a lesson to make sure um, that Natalie is quoting verbatim, basically. All right, so let's see. So it said President Trump gave a speech at the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday, and it was perhaps one of the most impactful speeches on U.S. foreign policy in our lifetime. So naturally, the media is ignoring it. All right, now check this out. This is the hypocrisy of this devil, man. Okay, you gotta think about it. Esau, Edom, his blessing with the sword. He's never gonna deviate from that sword. He's never gonna bring peace. Okay. So let's get it. It says the gist of this speech was the U.S. is done waging wars on foreign soil. All right, we already know that's a lie. That's Esau mo. We're done telling other countries how to be. We're done judging their leaders by our own standards. We are open for business, not war. Okay, they are open for business, but they still gonna get everything through war and plunder. All right. That's why when Isaac gave Esau his blessing, he said, "By thy sword shall thou live." All right, and you got even this guy, I think his name Ibrahim Traore. All right, they paint him out to be, the biggest devil. All right, and it's because he wants to. Now I ain't did all my research on this guy, you know, but basically he won't he got France up out of there. And why? Again, this devil can never be satisfied. He's always in everybody business. All right, France, um, you know, those African people is want France up out of there. But when you stand up for yourself, when Jake stand up for themselves, because there's a lot of Israelites in Africa. You know what I'm saying? When or anybody stand up for themselves, especially Jake, they'll paint you to be this devil, just like you had these E's from South Africa. They've been granted to come over here. Meanwhile, you got Jake getting rounded up by ICE. Some of them going to Guatemala and splitting up families and all that. Man, this devil, all what he doing, but it's okay because one thing that this word has given us is the power to understand this ain't the end all be all, and we at the end of this man's kingdom. Okay, so let E have his weak kingdom that's circling the drain because he ain't got that long, and that's why this devil is moving how he moving because he already know he ain't got that long. Now check this out. He admitted that what the U.S. has done in the name of democracy or freedom has done far more harm than good. Right. He also paid respect to other cultures and their accomplishments despite Western pressures to tear apart their societies. And when these people say Western, that's a code word for E. And I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I just come off a strike. I don't know if I should just put this on Rumble and just, you brothers and sisters go check this out on the Rumble. I might have to do that because they always going to my old videos and giving me a strike when I talk about eat. I've been noticing that. So it said, this may have been my favorite part. This is Natalie from Redacted. I forgot what's their last name? Natalie Thomas. All right, so I'm gonna play the video of what this says, but just note how this devil admitted. Well, yeah, these devils is admitting that what the U.S. has done in the name of democracy or freedom has been far more harm. Yeah, you raped, robbed, and plundered all over the world, especially the Israelites, man. And we've had our culture stripped due to disobedience, but he took it way overboard. And it's so funny how they'll respect everybody culture, but if the Israelites, when we turn back to our culture, they don't respect that. They try to tear that down, man, because these heathen nations has been given, they are taking part in this kingdom, man. All right. Matter of fact, let me get this. Let's get this real fast. All right, this is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Now let's listen to what Trump said. All right.
Here's a very short clip that I prepared for you. Take a look.
And it's crucial for the
fair use. I'm not making any money. This is only for educational purposes. Under the Fair Use Act, this is just for educational purposes. I'm not making any money. My channel is not monetized.
Let's go. Take a look.
And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western interventionists or flying people in beautiful planes giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs. No, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spent trillions and trillions of dollars failing to develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries, pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built, and the interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves. They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love so dearly.
Trump signed a record.
So you hear what he said, man. Basically, he said, wherever we go, wherever he go, they destroy. They don't understand about the culture. Basically, this devil, all he do is go in a land, rape, rob the natural resources, if there's any, put the people under subjection. The people that was native to that land end up becoming impoverished, while they get richer and richer. This is what they do around the globe, man. And these devils' tongue always fall upon themselves. Now, that's a lot of things that Trump said in that speech, and I might have to do a part 2. But I want to focus on this because now let's get this scripture again. Jeremiah 13 and 23, it says, "Can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed. And then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil." See, they accustomed to doing evil. They ain't gonna do good, man. They ain't gonna change their ways. They can't bring peace and prosperity. Well, they can prosper only so much, but they ain't gonna bring that peace because it's not in their blood, man. That's not how prophecy rolls when it's concerning Esau Edom. And I want to get the Bible commentary. I'm gonna go to the Bible Hub on Genesis 27 and 40 and share something interesting. Now, when you get 13, matter of fact, we can go there now. Let's go. Now, when you get Genesis 27 and 40, right, it says, I'm going to just get to the point. This is when Isaac had blessed Esau after he cried out. It says, and Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of the heavens from above. And this is why Esau is reigning right now. You know, he's able to do what he do, have that fatness of the earth. He's in control of the natural resources. All right. And mainly everybody, all the nations come to him, you know, when it comes to things, you know, mainly the bulk of natural resources and things like that. Now you have Saudi Arabia, they had oil and all of that. So, you know, but Esau really be having his fingers in all over the world. Okay. Verse 40 in the point, and by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. But the point in this verse I want to get, and by thy sword shall thou live. Now, I did a lesson on this some time ago, but I want to get it because it's very interesting when you're going to eat. All right. First I want to go to now this is Genesis 27 and 40. This is the commentary. Let's get Matthew Henry's concise commentary. It says, when Esau understood that Jacob had, no, matter of fact, I want to get down here. It says, I'm starting right here. A common blessing was bestowed upon Esau. This is his desire. Faint desires of happiness, man. Without right choice of the end and right use of the means, deceive many unto their own ruin. Right. And we know deception is a part of that sword, man. All right. What's that? Revelation 20. Okay. Multitudes go to hell with their mouths full of good wishes. The great difference is that there is nothing in Esau's blessing which points at a Mashiach. See, nothing in his blessing that points. That's why he's so adverse to the scripture. That's why you have laws protecting the ABCs. That's why you have a real lawless society. The woman is above the man in this society. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the Israelites. Okay. And everything about this man is just, you know, violence and deception. It don't point to a Mashiach. A Mashiach brings peace and order. All right. And when you have women over men, that's out of order. When you have, you know, you got to tiptoe around these ABCs, that's out of order. All right. Abominable foods as a delicacy in your kingdom, that's out of order, man. And we just that's just the tip of the iceberg. You know what I'm saying? When you talking about eat. But I thought that was very interesting. Let me see. It says, and without that, the fatness of the earth, the plunder of the field will stand in little stead. Thus Isaac by faith blessed both his sons according as their lot should be. This is Esau's lot. All right. His lot is to be, you know, the wicked ruler. His lot is not to bring peace. All right. You know what I'm saying? The only reason they're so-called respecting what's been done in Saudi Arabia, because in some type of way they need Saudi Arabia. All right. Number one, for the oil. All right. And number two, you know, Saudi Arabia invest a lot of American dollars, okay, to America, especially while you got, you know, China kind of turning its back on America, so Saudi Arabia can come in. But meanwhile, you know, if they didn't need Saudi Arabia for something, guess what? It'll be war as usual. All right. So this devil is not accustomed to doing good. If he do good, best believe it's some deception in the mix. Now I want to go down to Matthew Poole's commentary. Let's see. Before I get to Paul pit. Here go Matthew 2. Right here it says, by thy sword shall thou live. All right. By violence and rapine in unquiet and military posture. Okay. Troubling others. All right. This is what Esau do, man. Troubling others. All right. He can't. Matter of fact, let's get this. Let's get this. Let's get that Habakkuk. There's a lot of meat on that bone too. All right, Habakkuk 2. And I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Yeah, but the just shall live by faith. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. And we know it ain't nobody prouder than Esau, Edom. All right. Neither keepeth at home. Yeah. How many military bases Esau, Edom have over the globe, man? He got the most. Okay. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Right. Because you got to think, America is a melting pot, man. All nations is over here. Okay. They was painted that vision of the American dream, which now is becoming a nightmare. Okay. This is Esau, Edom. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that leadeth himself with thick clay, that debt, when you go into that thick clay. All right. America is 30-something trillion in debt, man, if I'm not mistaken. And America, you know, hey, that parable is going, like, Trump think America is just so respected like that. Man, you know, them Saudis, they really, you know, at the end of the day, they got to do business with E, and they got a fake smile and shake hands. But deep down inside, man, you already know they not really messing with this place, man. For real. Shall they? Because the scriptures tell us, all right. Even in Obadiah tell us that they deceived you. Your pride. Matter of fact, I don't even want to butcher it. Let me just get it. Let me just get it. And this is how you know. See, this is the power that we have, man. The scriptures put us up on game, because we would be out here in the congregation of the dead. When you just got to rely on Esau and his news and what's going on, man, you're going to be heavily deceived. It says, Obadiah 1 and 3. I'm going to start at verse 2. Look, behold, I've made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Yeah, all these nations despise America, man, deep down inside, man. Because in some type of way, America have robbed or, you know, snaked. That's the serpent. What they going to do, they going to snake you. All right, they have done something to all these nations. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? See? So, you know, this is Esau, Edom. Now let's jump down. It says, verse 6, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. So, you know, these nations who are smiling in Esau's face right now, gonna turn missiles on him later. We understand this, because America ain't gonna survive. All right, and prevail against thee, that they eat thy bread, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Right. So Saudi Arabia, all the American allies, basically is just gonna be like backstabbers, man. And ultimately, all you nations are gonna go down when your house shot comes. All you going into captivity under the Israelites, and we can't wait. So now let's go back to the commentary, because it says troubling others and forced to defend thyself by that sword. Trump mentioned how you know, America has the best and biggest military, like $1 trillion in spending. He was like, we ain't got to do it, but if it's no strength to defend ourselves, basically it's gonna be bad. Yeah, it will be bad because you reap what you sow. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. You know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Esau lived by the sword, so he gonna die by the sword. The same way he came into power, the Lord gonna take him out of power. All right. It says, but this, as also the following clause, though spoken to Esau, was not fulfilled in him, but in his posterity, the ease. You already know. Yeah. In his posterity, Trump, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, all of them. That's the posterity of the Edomites. Okay. Whose history makes good this prophecy. Yeah. They're making good on it. Again, America, matter of fact, let me look this up. All right, so when you look this up, it says the United States has been a nation for approximately 245, and they say a kingdom usually had like 250 years, man. So we already know, which declared the 13 American colonies as independent from Great Britain, was adopted July 4, 1776. So approximately 245. Let's remember that. 245 years. Let me see some. So look, since 1776, it has been estimated that the U.S. has been at war for 222 out of the 239 years. That's like 95 to not. That's like 98%. All right. That's like 90-something%, dog. Not in the high 90s. That's almost 100%. That's at least like 97%, 98%, something like that. Between 95 and 97%. So out of the 245, 220, even if it was 245, 222, that's still high. This means it has been at peace for less than 20 years total. This is E. This is the E's, man. This is the Edomites, man. This is them. This that sword. See? Thus things spoken and promised to Abraham were fulfilled. Now let's go to the pool. Let's go there. Let's go there. And matter of fact, let me see something. Cause see, you Jakes, you trust in Esau, and that's the thing about it. Let me pull something up real fast, because it's a point that I wanted to make. And see, the brother did the video earlier about how now, you know, they want to make Trump be the hero, okay? And you know, he lifted certain tariffs and this and that, and you got these cool niggas, these pro-Trumpers. They trust in Esau, man. I'm gonna get Isaiah 30, in the GMT. Isaiah 30, starting at verse 1, it says, the Lord has spoken. Those who rule Judah are doomed because they rebel against me. Who rule Judah right now? The Edomites. And I might just throw this up on my Rumble, because I already know, man, they'll come back. They've been gave me a strike, and then my page be down for some months. I can't do it. Those who rule Judah are doomed because they rebel against me. And then who else ruled Judah? The Acts Entertainment. All right, but it's all go back to Esau Edom. They follow plans that I did not make. They sign treaties against my will, piling one sin on another, right? Iniquity, signing treaties. All right, they go to Egypt for help without asking for my advice. They want Egypt to protect them, so they put their trust in Egypt, in Egypt's king. And the modern day Egypt is what? America. All right, because even when you go here to Deuteronomy, all right, let me explain this real quick. When you go to Deuteronomy, and when we go into the curses for the Israelites for disobedience, which we still in them curses today, Deuteronomy 28:68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. All right. And if we in Israel, Lord, do we need ships to go to Egypt? No, that's going into the that slave trade, which people try to deny. All right. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Have we been to Israel? Have we been settling our land? Is it Jakes there? Yes. But is the majority of the Jakes there? No. That's why it's always war torn, war stricken. When the real Israelites dwell in the land for good, it's going to be peace there. Something he can't bring. He never can bring peace. And there ye shall be sold into your enemies for buying men and buying women, and no man shall buy you. Yeah, nobody gonna redeem us but our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shah. All right. And when we sold to our enemies, who's our enemies? The Edomites. That's our arch enemy. All these nations are our enemies, though. Okay. But it's spiritual Egypt. Why? Because we was made to serve hard bondage, man. In America, just like when we was in Egypt. Let's get it. Exodus 2:23, it says, and it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed, you know, by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto the Most High by reason of the bondage. All right, and our cries is coming out again. All right, this word coming out is a sign that the Lord is dealing with us, man. Okay, it's a sign of him turning our captivity. He's seen us sighing and crying all these years in this second Egypt, America. And the Most High heard their groaning, and the Most High remembered his covenant with Abraham. All right. Y'all like to stop at Abraham, but hold on. Isaac and with Jacob. See, it don't end with Abraham. All right. It go to Jacob and then the 12 sons all the way to the Israelites. That's who the covenant is with. And the Most High looked upon the children of Israel, and the Most High had respect unto them. All right. And when you go into that word respect, because the elder breaks it down all the time, that's like to look back. That don't mean the Most High just bowing down, like, you know. Let me see if I can get it. To be made known, to be revealed, to be instructed to cause. All right, dang, let me get it. I'll have to go into the Edom, but that's another lesson for another day. But it says the Most High, you know, heard the groanings, man. All right, in Egypt, just like he heard the groanings in this second Egypt that he told us. That was a side note for new people. Okay. I want to just, you know, because people be new and they don't really be understanding why we might call certain places Egypt. Because if the Bible said America and this, they will outlaw the Bible. So, you know, the Most High, you had to use that subtlety. Kingdoms are reincarnated. Just like America is Egypt, well, it's spiritual Sodom and it's spiritually Rome. It's Rome 2.0. And I'm going to get that in this last scripture I'm going to get. But our people trust in Egypt. As let's keep going. It says what? So they put their trust in Egypt's king, but the king will be powerless to help them, and Egypt's protection will end in disaster. Yeah, just like America. America is going to end in disaster when the missiles hit. Although their ambassadors have already arrived at the Egyptian cities of Zoan and Hanes, the people of Judah will regret that they ever trusted that unreliable nation. Who is that unreliable nation? The Edomites. All right, the so-called white man. He's unreliable to protect you from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, and and they don't want to protect you from anything, man. They are just unreliable nation to protect you from anything, really. But Jake put their trust, and meaning like you know, they rely on E for everything, man. They think E is the end all be all, but no, it's really Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, man. That's who we need to be leaning upon. All right, anything you get is from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, not Esau Edom, man. But our people love Esau Edom, man. A nation that fails them when they expect help. Yeah, just think about it. Trump came in, you niggas boasted and all of that. Then he kicked you niggas out from ICE. All right. And then that was for Northern Kingdom. Southern Kingdom, guess what? Well, he just passed executive orders to militarize the police, and who you think gonna be the number one target? Because he even said the so-called black community have a lot of the crime, and he said, and this go back to his words being smoother than butter. He said, "No more want the police in their neighborhoods than the black community." Okay, so best believe all of that signing them executive orders about militarizing the police and they can't be held accountable. That's gonna be aimed at you, Jakes, man. All right. You gonna learn, y'all gonna learn that this devil is the devil. Y'all gonna learn that he is the devil, man, that the Bible speak about, man. All right. But you trust in him. And the scriptures tell us what? Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 10, it says what? Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Okay. Never trust him. All right. Never trust him. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yeah, he made a speech. Oh, we don't want to bring peace. We don't want to bring war. We're respecting your culture and the people who came and yada, yada, yada. Yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So guess what? At any twist and turn, he could be bringing a war to Saudi Arabia in some type of way. All right. Some go wrong, something happen. Okay. Some don't go their way. You know. Then the war coming. That's war coming out. It's already been said that, you know. Now let's go to the pulpit. All right, Lord willing, y'all following along. Now the pulpit commentary. This is going into that. Look. Check this out. We over here. And by thy sword shall thou live. Literally, upon thy sword shall thy be. Thy maintenance shall depend on the sword. A prediction that Esau's descendants should be a warlike and tumultuous people of predatory habits. See? And that's what they do. Think about how Esau go all around the globe like a hungry tiger. All right. And, you know, again, rape, rob, plunder the natural resources, if there are any. The people are impoverished and they living good. And then they look down on the people who they came into that. They did that with the natives when they came over here. They said they were savages. Meanwhile, the natives opened them with open arms, man. And then what he do? He went back and brought that sword up that sword. That's what they do, man. You got this guy, Ibrahim Traore. These African nations, they want the French out of their land. But then the French have the nerve to be incredulous. Why do these African nations want them out of their land? All right. It says, and this shall, let's go. Yeah, but this is the point right here. That they're going to be a warlike and tumultuous people of predatory habits. This is them. If it, I was watching a documentary where it was an island that they went on and just used that for like testing missiles, man. A beautiful ass island where you should just be able to go and probably fresh fruits and good trees, nice trees, you know, waters and everything. And they just tore the island up, man. This is what they do. All right, to experiment with what? That sword. Okay. So let's get this, because again, like I said, kingdoms are reincarnated. Now, when you go to First Maccabees chapter 8, right? This is going into the Romans, how Judas, all right, Maccabeus heard about the Romans. And I just want to read through this. And as I read through this, this is going to sound like America, man. Because even the number 2 military power is the Russians, and those are Edomites. So 1 and 2 is Edomites, even though Russia and Esau have beef per se, they still is number 1 and number 2 with the sword. Russia got one of the biggest and baddest missiles. That's Cermat 2. And then who's behind them? The America. China might be number 3, because you know Asia is right there with Esau, Edom, them goops. But number 1 and number 2 The biggest bullies on the block is who? Russia and America, both Edomite nations, man. So think about that, because we always go into America because we know, this is Babylon the Great, but Russia, them Russians, they Edomites as well. Vladimir Putin and them, and they who better than combat Esau than Esau? You know what I'm saying? So now peep this though, because America is Rome as well. This is Rome 2.0, man. All right, that deadly wound that was healed. All right, that's America, man. That's basically, when you get into the ancient Roman Empire, all right, how they fell. They just came back into fruition during the Renaissance, and you got America, Babylon the Great. America is a lot of things spiritually, all right, but it's Rome again, and now they call, brothers have figured out that Trump in the spirit, is Nero, all right. So let me read this. I'm starting at verse 1. Now, Judas had heard of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men. All right, that sword. And this is the posterity of Esau Edom, the Romans, the Edomites, man. And such as would lovingly accept all that join themselves unto them and make a league of enmity with them, with all that came unto them. All right. Matter of fact, man, I kind of want to get this now, because Trump said something in his speech. He said something in his speech. And that made me think about it. Yeah, I'm most definitely gonna have to put this on the Rumble. Because I already know. Now look.
Lens, the way those people are treated in Turkey later this week, special like they've done, frankly, and so the interests that unite you, then all of humanity will soon be amazed at what and commercial crossroads, businesses you create, the technologies you invent, and you see it with all that money, trillions and trillions and dollars pouring in, hundreds of thousands of jobs coming in with it. And with the help of the people of oh, what I do for the Crown Prince. The sanctions were brutal, and not a place in the world where people are treated so badly. It's horrible. After years of suffering, two of the moment in the history of our country. And we've been working tirelessly to bring back all hostages held by terrorists, terminated 83 terrorist leaders. Going to be targeting commercial ships in any way, shape, you don't even know about, you don't hear about. And if you did, you say, wow, we think you mean it. But we do. We have the greatest military destroyer.
You hear what he's saying? All right. Listen to what he's about to say. All right. Let's go back to this. It says, look, thy maintenance shall depend on the sword, a prediction that Esau's descendants should be a warlike and tumultuous people of predatory habits. All right. This is the Edomite. Now, when you go here, this is the Edomites, the Romans. It says Judas, all right, the Israelite, heard of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept. See, if you don't accept what America is buying, selling, they'll come against you. All right. That means you got to be down with the ABC agenda. All right. That means you're going to have to be a do boy some type of way. And if you're not going along with that, with all what they're going along with, they'll turn that sword on you. It said, and such as will lovingly accept all that join themselves unto them, make a league of enmity with all that came unto them. And Trump was saying that in his speech, and that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars, see, and noble acts which they had done among the Galatians, and how they conquered them, all right, and brought them under tribute, all right, predatory, and what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold, which is there, see, the natural resources, and that by their policy and patience, by their policy, see, and patience, they had conquered all the place, though it were very far. Then we get Habakkuk, all right, he never keepeth at home, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost parts of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year. All right. So you see, this is Esau. So I wanted to get this in Trump's speech. Listen.
You know, he's looking to fight. He's looking to fight, and things get settled. It's an amazing thing when they really think you mean it. But we do. We have the greatest military, the strongest military, stronger than any. Nobody's even close. We have the best weapons in the world, but we don't want to use them. If you threaten America or our partners, however, then you'll be faced with overwhelming strength and devastating force. We have things that you don't even know about, you don't hear about. And if you did, you'd say, wow. In recent,
he said, if you threaten us or our allies, okay? If you threaten us or our allies.
And now it's really the most powerful it's ever been. We just are getting a budget approved, $1 trillion, highest budget we've ever had in history for military. $1 trillion.
1 trillion in military. This is the warlike people right here. 1 trillion.
And we're getting the greatest missiles, the greatest weapons. And, you know, I hate.
See, the greatest missiles and the greatest weapons. These are the warlike people right here.
I hate to do it, but you have to do it because
they don't hate to do it. All right. This is his words being smoother than butter. All right. Let's get that again. Let's get that again. Salaki, y'all. All right, because you know we got to make these points. What's that? Psalms, I believe. Yeah. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Who was that talking about? His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay. This is them right here.
We believe in peace through strength. You have to have the strength, otherwise bad things could happen. But hopefully we'll never have to use any of those weapons. Seems to be an awfully big waste of money if you're never going to use them, but hopefully we'll never have to use them, because the destructive power of some of those weapons are like nobody's seen before. I believe it is God's job to sit in judgment, my job to defend America and to promote the fundamental interest of stability, prosperity, and peace. That's what I really want to do. I will never hesitate to wield American power if it's necessary to defend the United States or to help defend our allies.
You see what he said? He won't. Let's get that. Let's go back.
My job to defend America and to promote the fundamental interest of stability, prosperity, and peace. That's what I really want to do. I will never hesitate to wield American power if it's necessary to defend the United States or to help defend our allies.
You see, he won't hesitate. All right. This is them. These are the Romans. This is Roman 2.0. You hear what Judas heard of the Romans. All right. Verse 5, it says, besides this, they had discomforted and battle Philip and Perseus, king of the Kingdom. This is Kingdom, with others that lifted up themselves against them and had overcome them. All right. How also Antiochus, the great king of Asia, that came against them in battle, having 120 elephants with horsemen and chariots, a very great army, was discomforted by them, and how they took him alive and covenanted that he and such as reigned after him should pay a great tribute and give hostages, and that which was agreed upon. And the country of India and Media and Lydia, and of the goodliest countries which they took of him, he gave to King Eumenes. All right. Moreover, how the Grecians had determined to come and destroy them, and that they, having knowledge thereof, sent against them a certain captain, and fighting with them, slew many of them, and carried away captive their wives and their children, and spoiled them, and took possessions of their lands, and pulled down their strongholds, and brought them to be their servants until this day. It was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms and isles that at any time resisted them. All right. So if you resist America, you're going to be put under subjection in some type of way. All right. Best believe Saudi Arabia is under subjection under Babylon the Great. You heard what he just said. We got the greatest military. Do you actually think Saudi Arabia will really go to war with America without? That's why all these nations is just going to have to basically gang up on the bully. Okay. Verse 12, it says, but with their friends, see, and such as relied upon them, all right, you rely upon them, they kept, it's not. Let me see. All right, verse 12 again, Slaki. But with their friends and such relied upon them, they kept amity, and that they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh. All right. And so much as all that heard of their name were afraid of them. All right. Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reigned, and whom they displaced. Finally, that they were greatly exalted. And that's America, man. All right. So Saudi Arabia doing deals. They're going to be able to prosper, as long as they do deals with America. All right. You got to get with somebody. You got to either get with America or you got to get with Russia. That's how this thing goes, man. Okay. All of them nations that's coming against America, they align with Russia, another Edomite nation. All right. Russia in itself didn't belong to the Edomites, but they took it. That was Japhet over there, but they took it. Okay. They took it how? By a sword. All right. So, I mean, the Edomites is in their land. They really settled in their land. Okay. But you either got to be with one Edomite or the other. The ones that's in America or the ones that's in Russia. Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or were clothed in purple to be magnified. Moreover, how they made themselves a senate house. Don't we got a senate house in America? This is Rome over again. Because you don't have like where a king died and then his son get it, and then he died and then his son get it. Then no, you got, you have the elites, you have elite families, but nobody's wearing that crown. Okay. When it comes to the government, you have a administration, you have a Senate House, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting all way for the people, to the end they might be well ordered, and that they committed to their government one man every year. And we got one man every 4 years. And that's the face. All right. Because again, we know the elites is pulling the strings, but they commit one man every 4 years. Whereas in Rome, they did every year, who ruled over all their country, and that they were obedient to that one. Right. And that they were neither envy nor emulation among them. All right. So this is Rome 2.0. All right. These are the people right here, the Edomites. So that's why I titled it, Can the Ethiopian Change His Skin or the Leopard Change His Spots? And the answer is no. They're going to go down in war. They always going to be at war. We've seen the percentages. We've seen it. Okay. 222 out of 239 at the time. All right. So let's just say it's 245. 222 out of 245, that's still in the 90th percentile. Okay, let's do this. 222 is what percent of 245? 90%. 90% of the time you have war. 91.6, almost 91%. If you round it off, it'd be 91%. Okay. So 90% of Esau time and power, he been at war, man. All right. So I just wanted to bring this out, Lord willing, just edifying to the next lesson. Shalom.